Usually, it's gonna take about a month for someone, especially if they're brand new to it, to get addicted. But during that time, this is the way it lulls you to sleep. You're taking something that makes you feel good, then you don't have it. And you're tired. You have a general malaise. You don't feel good that day. But you're not sick. You're not in withdrawal. It's like a rainy day. You don't feel good, but you know what will make you feel good. So now, you don't need to be a rocket surgeon to put these two together. Like, I don't feel good. If I cop, I'm gonna feel great. Like Tony the Tiger all over the place. So that is how you get lulled to sleep on it. Because you don't realize that that is the beginnings of withdrawal. And I don't know why this happens, but it does. And I mean, it even happened to me. Now, I've been around drugs my whole life, and I obviously knew any opioid will get you addicted. But I just didn't put it together. It something about being in the moment. Like, but I'm not addicted to it. That's exactly what it is. It is just not a full blown addiction yet, but that's why you feel like shit. And, you have to use every day for like a month, maybe a little longer, maybe a little less, before you really start to get withdrawals. And then it is like the worst flu you've ever had multiplied by like 10. Everything hurts. Everything. Things you didn't know existed hurt. Can't hold down food. It's coming out both ends. It is awful. Awful. you know, but that's how it's gonna lull you to sleep. You're not realizing you're getting addicted. You think you're consuming it, but it is consuming you. Such has been my experience, and everything from the lowliest tramadol and Vicodin to the purest smack you can get, uh, the road is the same. You don't really put together this me feeling like shit. This is the beginning of the addiction. And like I said, when someone's brand new to it, they can do it for a week and then stop. And there really won't be that much. Like, you can potty for a week and stop, and you really won't suffer that much for it. Do it again, potty for a week, stop. Not gonna suffer that much for it. But then something happens in life. Suffer a breakup, relative dies, some terrible trauma is awakened in your brain for whatever reason. And then it's like, well, I know what will make me feel good. Well, I've done it for a week, but nothing bad ever happened. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and now it's got its hooks in you. Now, when you try to stop, you get sick. You're in full blown withdrawals and you can't stop. And when you are in full blown withdrawals, the depravity you will sink to get out of that, you will go to places you never thought you would because you're so desperate, you're so sick. Anything. This is how people steal their kids' piggy banks because in their mind, I'm sure most of them are saying, I'm going to take this right now and I'm gonna use it. I'm going to go score. I'm going to go do something, get some money, and I'll put the money back before they even know. That is a constant refrain in the junkie mind. I'm going to do this now, and then I'll go make some money and I'll pay it back before anyone knows. Like, homie, if everything's going in you arm or up you nose, how are you gonna pay it back? But there's a process of rationalization that goes on. Like when I was younger, the reason I didn't have kids is because I couldn't stop drinking and doing drugs. And I didn't want to doom a child to a world of being unwanted. Like, I have known those feelings. And it is not something I could wish upon someone I am to love more than myself. And I couldn't deal with being touched till I was 28 years old, like even on my arms and shit. I just couldn't do it. It fucking freaked me out, man. But this isn't about me and how fucking weird I am. This is about opioids and how people get addicted. No, the depravity people will sink to once they're sick. You don't know how desperate you will be, and you will do things you never thought possible. That frankly that aren't possible for you as a human being to do now. But once you've been sick for a couple days and it ain't going away and it don't feel like it's ever gonna go away and you want to get high anyway, you'll find a way. Life finds a way. It's like Jurassic Park, man. You'll find a way, and it's always the case. I've seen it with so many different people. They're like, I'm not getting addicted to it, homie. You're getting addicted to it. You just that you're not in full blown withdrawals yet. But the reason that malaise you feel, that feeling like shit, that rainy day, that is the sickness. It's just not full powered yet. If you use it for another week or two, it's gonna be, lo and behold, they do. But I have also never met a heroin addict who wasn't running from something inside themselves. And this has always been the case with everyone. I mean, you're talking about well over 200 people I've done this with. Because one of the things about junkies is once people get high, usually there's a couple people there. And often you're feeling really good and everyone will sit and talk and it's it's almost like therapy sessions. And I'm really good at listening. And I have a mind for understanding suffering and human emotion. So I would always listen to these people. And I would try and offer insightful advice as well as I could. But from everyone I've ever spoken to, the reason that is driving them to do drugs, remember, they're doing something that they know is killing themselves. So whatever is pushing them is stronger than their will to live. Think about that. You're dealing with something that is stronger than your will to live directly. So, like, because you're kind of indirectly killing yourself. So it's not like, putting a gun to your head, but they know they're dying. So, what I have found, and I've said this before, I must have, it is a reality that is a direct contradiction with how they define themselves. A way in which it is very important. They use this to define themselves. This is who I am. And they have found a reality that shows this is not who I am. Now, it can be something that happened to you when you were a little kid as well. It was with me. But, it's still the same thing. Like, I wanted to be tough and hard. And by the stuff that happened to me when I was a little kid, like, it's a fact. I am vulnerable. Like, there's nothing I can do to escape that reality. That's part of my life. No matter what I do, it's always in my mind. I didn't want that to be there. And, you'll go far to get away from those thoughts, but you can't. No matter what you do, you have to confront it. And sadly, the vast majority of people I have known have chosen death like they couldn't confront it. They died instead. And out of everyone I know, as far as I know, I'm the only one that stopped. So, like, those are not good odds. But that is how it lulls you to sleep because it takes like a month. And whenever I've heard people explain what opioids are, how heroin works, and stuff like that, they explain it like you take it 1, 2, or 3 times and you're full blown addict, and then you do it and that doesn't happen, and you still know I can get addicted, but I just don't feel good today. I'm not sick. I'm not a junkie. Well, you're certainly on the path, and there's no, it's inexorable. If you keep going back to the well, sooner or later you're gonna fall your ass in. you know it is, like I said, it is inexorable. If you are in a position where you need heroin or an opioid, you need that euphoria to live your life, there's some issues you have to work out. uh, I have never seen anyone, even people who started because they were on doctor ordered painkillers and stuff, it, they got addicted to the painkillers, but the addiction itself, like the what powered the addiction, was something already inside them, some deep-seated turmoil. That has been my experience with countless people. So I've always heard people say, like, nothing happened in my life. I just like using drugs. And like the example I've always used is like there ain't nobody dying on the basketball court because they just couldn't stop having fun. He was out there for 36 hours straight, just couldn't stop. Said he couldn't stop having fun. I've never seen someone die because they can't stop having fun. Like, that's not what kills people. People die when they're running away from something because you're not looking where you're going. I always laugh in the Isle of Dr. Monroe in the actual story. The dude starts hearing gunshots in one direction at the village, and he takes off running away from it so fast that he doesn't see an embankment, and he falls off the embankment and knocks himself unconscious. And I always felt that was realistic because he doesn't really know these people at that village. And if everyone's getting murdered, hell, I'm going that way. I don't know you. This has nothing to do with anything, but, you know, take it for what it's worth, I guess.